Hello everybody, this is William Sunstrider. Um, I received some feedback recently on the 69 plot flat evil magma P garden setup and design, and there were some problems with people having some difficulty getting some of the offsets to work. Also, it was a little more complicated. There's some other videos out there where they use a lot of rugs. So one of the things I decided to do was to really reduce it down so that it's a lot easier to work with and with fewer components to work with. There's also a problem with the placement of the garden gnome and some of the likes. Um, and we're going to use a little trick to kind of get your boom shrooms better placed along the sides and use fewer housing resources. So I'm going to show an initial setup here. Let's see. What we're going to do is just, let me go over the list here of items. You need 4 small blue trim rugs. Um, I usually get a tatami mat for backup. 5 gold blossom rugs. 1 small pot for gardening. And I have there 2 dark wood crates. You can use other crates too, just no chickens on top and no reinforced crates. I have a long blue runner, and then I have the large watcher rug. You can use other large rugs. It's just whatever you're comfortable with using. This you can make it the ornate oval rug, large watcher rug, or any big rug for that matter will work. So in starting, I'm going to simplify the. I'm starting out. I'm going to simplify the templates a little bit. So what I've done is I've reduced the number of gold blossoms that you actually need, and I set this up like so. I'm going to make it a little easier. Just follow along here, and I just move this gold blossom kind of right to the edge there, and then I move it up, and then I'm moving the blue trim, and then I move it back down so that the 2 circles on the sides right there, they just line up, those 2 circles on the side, and that's right in there. Once those line up, then this template is about ready, and we just have to line up the blue trims so that 1 is sticking on the inside right there. I take the tatami mat, stick it on the end, pick up the tatami, pick that up, and this is the first template for laying down our plots. So now on the left hand side here, if I look at this, how it's symmetrical this way and this way on the left hand rug, I'm going to line that up again with the in the room with this center line right there in the middle of the room, and also in the middle of the fireplace there's a center line right here. So what we're going to do is check this, and this line goes right about in there. That's good. And this line is about almost where I want it. It's not quite, so I'm going to move it to the left 1 space. Unfortunately, with something like this, when you're moving multiple rugs glitched together, you've got to move away, and then you've got to move back, because it doesn't like you to move back within the same space. Because if I try to move the blue trim where the gold blossoms were, it won't let it where they were. It thinks they're still there, and it doesn't let you place it. So oftentimes you have to move something away and move it back. So we'll start off with a few plots, and I'm only going to do a few plots because this is a follow-up, kind of follow-up to the other video, and we're going to show how to correct some things here. And I'm only going to lay down a very few plots, but you understand already how many plots there are via the previous video, and So in doing so, we should be able to you should be able to have a good idea of how this newer method works. And again, we've reduced the number of gold blossoms, and it makes this easier to move around, to get around. It's not as complicated as the other design. Now normally this row right here would be 7 wide. I'm just going to do 3 wide to give you an idea of spacing. Here, let's move this away. Move it back for the last 2. And then I'm going to do a few on the other side. Something else when you're placing these, depending upon how you're placing these, sometimes you have to face the opposite direction before, like when you're sticking the other template in and underneath the plots, you have to face the direction that you're actually inserting from. Sometimes the rug will not place, and people shout and scream and yell because they can't get things to work. And so let's see here. Now let's get this, move it out. I'm just going to give us a few plots here. Now this of course is my first template, which is the even templates, and I found a better way to kind of line up the rugs. You take an extra gold blossom and set it down just right along this edge, and I'm going to explain this for people that don't quite understand what is going on here. Move this into place. Okay, move that down, move this over to here like that. Now with this, I don't even need that. Okay, now these two are in place right here. One thing that's important to understand, you notice that when you move an object, you see how it goes click, 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 click. Okay, it's going like kerchunk. It's moving in fixed increments, and it doesn't move smoothly. Now when I come over here, it's important that I be able to move at the pixel level. Okay, when I go over this, you see how smooth that is right there. If I can't do that, and it's doing this kerchunk thing where it's snapping to grid, then I can't. That was a problem we were having, is I can't set my other rugs to dead center. So it's important that there be an extra gold blossom there. The gold blossom works best because it doesn't like other rugs on top of it, but because of the way this works, it helps our situation. If we can't place it, it won't go, you know, in those stepping moves, those that it does. So I'm gonna move it over here. I don't left click, I simply give it a twist. Okay, you'll notice that when I twist it, it kind of moves with it. So okay, and then I'm gonna twist this over top of, okay, something's not quite right here. I don't know how those got connected. I don't know how they got connected, but I'm going to fix that. Try this again. You are prone to bugs every once in a while. Okay. Take this. Oh, I think I know why. It's because I had it placed. You have to pick up the Watcher rug and put it in your backpack first. then click on the watcher rug, then give it the twist. Okay, that's correct. Then give it the twist. And then you notice when you twist, it follows. The twist, they follow. That's the correct way. So already we're learning how not to do it. So have it over here, and you twist it so that the centers of the plots line up like we've done before. Up and to the left a little. You can see the center of each rug. And as soon as that is lined up pretty well in the center, then you're good to go. A little bit to the right. Okay, that's good enough. And then I pick up this golden blossom. Now, as I have used a twist method to put these into place, they're not here yet. Okay, if you have another character running, you'll see that they're not there. They are ghosted. So what we have to do then is to put together a few blue trims like this, take it by the end here and push it in. Okay, then grab the front blue trim and move it. Once you move it and place it just like that, okay, now that's a permanent fixture. Left clicking means permanent. Twisting means temporary or ghosted. Left clicking is permanent. So when something moves and you left click, that becomes permanent. So that is now a fixed object. Take my tatami, set it on the end, pick up the tatami, get rid of the extra rug. Now I can take this quite easily, set it in the middle. It's all lined up nice and pretty. And then we place our in-between plots. And I'm just going to do the first two for the sake of argument here, just to save some time to give you an idea, because we've done the whole thing before in the previous video. So this shows you how to make plots in between plots right there. Take the template, move it out. Alright, now for this next section I have to show you how, like over here we were lining up some to do our likes, and in the previous video they weren't quite in the best positions. So I'm going to show you how to get those in a better position. This plot right here represents the center plot. That's the plot that the gnome goes over. Same thing in the large scale garden. Now let's see here. That is to that side. So that's going to be right there. Okay. Get this centered. Nope. Not on the right side. Move it over just a touch. There we go. It's about over center. So again, I'm going to take my garden gnome, and I forgot my garden gnome, so I've got to get one. Just going to go out here, open this, go to attic, go to house. I've got them sitting out there. I'm going to grab my likes real quick. One tropical garden gnome. Good. Okay. Going back in here. Then I take my tropical garden gnome, set it at about there. Should be right in line with the middle, right in line with the center of the back room. Again, we look from the side. Look at the bottom plot. It's going right up the middle that way. So there's gonna be this big circle here. Okay. Now, the garden gnome, it is important that it be 1 crate high. If you go 2 crates high and you try to cast on it, you won't hit the garden. It'll be too far away from the garden and you won't be feeding anything. Now I'm going to take this, set that aside a touch, move this up, and I'm going to set this crate on top of the other crate. Now this is at 2 crates high, and here the drum, the jujemba drum, Set that about 2 spaces to the left, 2 spaces to the right. And the reason I'm keeping it higher, and off to the sides is because you don't want to accidentally cast your spell on these two objects. If you do, you won't hit all of your plants. And that was a problem some people were having. So it's important that these be up higher a little bit, at least 2 crates. Don't go much higher, because then some of the plants won't see the likes. I had somebody who did 4 crates high, and there were sections of the bottom of the garden that weren't going to elder at the same time. Then we dropped one to the ground and they immediately went to elder, and we knew what the problem was. Okay, so we've got these likes set. And lastly, I'm going to show another trick here. What we're going to do is plant our boom shrooms without any soil. I'm going to show you how to do this little trick here. Okay, now we're just going to place a gold blossom rug right there. Okay, and now I'm going to plant a boom shroom and my pot right there. Is that centered up? That's pretty well centered. Put it right there. Okay, now what you're going to do is, while this is on the floor, click on it, click move. Okay, then you're going to use the scroll key and twist, but you're not going to see a twist. Okay, you're going to use the scroll key to twist, and then you right click to release, and the pot snaps over to here. Now, some people will tell you to pick it up at this point, but that doesn't always work. Okay, sometimes it comes up, sometimes it does not. What you'll do is you'll move it to another spot, then pick it up. If you do that, move it to a spot and then pick it up, it will come up every single time. Okay, so now I've got a boom shroom out here, and some people let their boom shrooms die. I do that because it takes up, number one, I don't have to mess around with accidentally harvesting an elder boom shroom. And I guess that's really the only reason. The other one is irrelevant. And I'm doing it without soil here because it takes less housing space. Let's see, go over here, and then get my pot back here and plant a boom shroom just like so. Okay, then I go into here, I click on this, I click move, I give it a twist, I know it does not move, and then I right click. Take the pot, I move it to the side, I set it down, then I pick it up. Okay, you do that, it will come up every single time. They'll remove all the pots. And this is great for, like, if you want to decorate a house with a lot of flowers or plants or whatever type of thing that you want, but you don't want all these pots around. You can do it this way. The only thing that you're going to have to watch out for is planting a lot of them and how to feed them, and making sure that your wand strikes can get to it. Okay, this pretty much covers the fixes at this point. You should have a good idea of how to make this garden a little bit easier. The likes up higher right here to keep you from accidentally casting on the wrong point. And that's pretty much it. I think that's all the updates. This is William Sunstrider, and thank you for watching.